There's been many a parent that has walked into their kid's bedroom and found, their baby, and, parents, I don't care how old their kids are, it's their baby. And they found them dead. Like, it's horrible. And I thank God every day it didn't happen to me. I knew my son was having a problem. I was in huge denial of what the problem, how serious the problem was. I'm a nurse and did not recognize what I was seeing as opiate addiction. We're all middle class, working people. It's our kids that have this, and it's rampant over the country, but in this part of the country, it's epidemic, and it has been for years. I would come to these meetings and I would listen to the other parents pour their hearts out, and I would speak and they would try to bring me into reality, and I would get upset and tell them that my son was not as bad as that. And I believed it. Like, their kids were really having a problem, but my son wasn't as bad as theirs. He didn't want me to know it was heroin. An opiate is an opiate. I don't care which one it is. Every one of them will kill you. If not for these parents, my son would probably not be alive today. So I keep coming here, not because I need the meetings for my son, but because I can support somebody else that's just getting here, because it saved my son.
When people come here and do Narcan training, parents of kids that are struggling with addiction, what's their biggest concern? What do you kind of help them through?
So many times they are in tears because they need Narcan. Just the fact that they're here and they need it, and they're admitting this horrible addiction, which by the time they come here, they have already lived through absolute hell. You don't come here the first time that your kid uses.
What's the most common misconception that you think people have about people who are using opioids?
People think that addicts are losers, and that they can help what they do. They can't. They can't. If they're lucky enough to get into recovery, then they, have a shot. But until they do, it rules them. They don't think about that they might die. You end up having empathy for addicts, because once they're addicted, it isn't a choice anymore. And stopping is hard work. I have the son that I raised back, but I'll always be a little afraid.
And so do you still, even though it's been years since he got clean, do you still kind of worry about him and think about his recovery?
Always. I will always be afraid that he would relapse, and if he relapsed, he could die, and I'll never not be afraid, never.